here they come to save the day. Massively OP's on the way. Hey everybody, hello and welcome to Massively Overpowered Television, where we bring you the crew. And I gotta really behave because you know all those times that I say, I hope Bree's not watching. Bree's here. So
Yeah,
everybody,
she's totally watching.
be on your best behavior, everybody.
Oh, it's funny you say that, MJ, because I was thinking you should probably turn off the death counter and put up like a swear jar instead. I think that would be more appropriate for this crew.
Oh my goodness. We could do that. It would be an easy fix.
They called him Captain Skidmarks. It's my superhero name.
Oh dear. So we have lots of people in chat jumping in, saying hello. Are you guys hyping for City of Titans? Well, no. These are people that are excited to be back in a world somehow that they love. I mean, all of us have kind of felt that way sometimes, right? If they just shut your world down and it's gone, you're just left with, sitting there scrolling through screenshots once in a while with a big bowl of chocolate M&Ms and just trying to get by. But this way you can actually have your bowl of M&Ms.
We call
and
those Tuesdays.
So if you guys didn't notice, Justin is in here, Bree is in here, Eliot will also be joining us. And of course,
He's here, drag him in.
oh, yes, I get to drag Eliot around. I have been waiting for this day so long. Don't tell him that. Shall we unmute him? Yeah, let's do that. We'll
I
unmute him.
guess so.
Hey, Eliot, welcome to the party. And this really is a party. This is in honor of the City of Heroes, what would have been it's the anniversary of the launch. It just feels kind of painful to say that since it's not technically here anymore. But if you guys are here, if you have the way in, if you don't know how to get in, massivelyop.com actually has the instructions for you, so you can do that. And otherwise, let's just go in, look at people's costumes, and I'll show you how good of a character I can come up with in only 2 hours. I mean, it was a record.
Just want
Only
to say
2 hours?
we've gotten a couple shout outs in the chat already for Mop in the game.
Sweet!
I love this community.
All right, we are going to move from off the splash screen. See, actually, it says with MJ, but only because I couldn't actually fit everybody's names down the list. I should go and add them in afterwards. And Bree and Justin and and Eliot and Mo. Mo might make an appearance. I don't know. It is possible. So let's jump.
I thought we should do that. We should all have dressed up as Mo. What were we thinking?
I thought you were gonna do it, so I didn't re-roll.
You said you were doing Mo, so I mean, I just went with.
Didn't.
Yes, you did. Oh, you.
No, I mean I did say it. I just didn't do it. I ended up making like a copy, a clone of my like favorite character from Live. So there I am in my hat, if you've ever seen my hat. In fact, Justin and I are standing on Atlas's foot with torches right now.
So here we are. Let's go see these guys.
See,
Ta-da.
I can't stand on Atlas's foot ever anymore. It brings up too many memories.
Oh, there we go. Okay, we're screenshotting
Yeah, I
this.
decided to go with kind of a steampunk mad scientist. I was saying when I went back into the character creator, how many more options there are than there used to be back when I used to play. I mean, it's amazing.
There are a lot. Now, the last time I played was probably Choose My Adventure. That was a lot of fun. I didn't go back and check out what that person was wearing, but I just went with a new outfit because, I mean, come on, lots of new stuff.
Looks like I'm leaking rust here.
I was gonna say, what is that? I mean,
It's like
thanks
it's
for
an
dressing
aura.
up
It's
and
like
everything.
Oil
But-
and gears and stuff. Yeah.
That's a personal problem, and I don't really need to hear about that on a Friday.
You guys, there are so many famous here, but people here, by the way. You should just look around at the names. Tony V is out there. I saw Work Habit before. It's like, oh, it's awesome.
Okay, so
I don't know who those are.
this
Well, you should.
this
I know who they are.
the death counter has now been changed to the swear counter. So there you go, guys. Keep Justin and Bree and Eliot honest. And no, Flubberducky does not actually count for the swear counter, guys. Maybe my harshest stuff, but yeah.
You're breaking my balls here, MJ.
I'm sorry.
Does that count? Does that count as my first one?
I was thinking, I don't know. Crude comments. Oh, that thing would just be dinging over all the time. I don't know. We may not be able to do that. So, what do you think, chat room? Do we add one now to the swear counter?
If not, I can start swearing
No,
because I got some
no.
creative.
Trying to keep it
I
a little
actually
bit more
got
family
away with a
friendly.
swear in an article last night, so
That's true. Your boss is a terrible person.
I'm in your streams, Mop. I hears me and MJ. Hey! This is awesome. We get to have you guys here with us. Now, how do I get around so you can see the front of my character? Probably not. Can you not? Because I can't.
You can. Justin figured it out earlier, remembered from years ago. You want to hold down the center mouse button and swirl.
But you'll have to do that to get back too, because it doesn't just snap back.
There we go. See, I have green wings. These are actually my two favorite colors. My 16th birthday cake was fluorescent green and black. And
I'm just
was a
saying,
wedding
I'm
cake.
representing massively colors here. What the heck, people?
You are. You're the only one. We tricked you.
MJ's representing old massively. The one we don't talk about.
No.
Somebody
No. This is fluorescent green. I'm representing my youthful self here, okay? Not the place that was. Oh, look at it. Yeah, it is. You do just keep following around. There we go. No. Whoops.
Somebody just said in broadcast, if today's celebration surpasses Champion Online's total active population, would that be newsworthy?
Well,
Depends on how slow a day it is.
I was gonna say that depends on what Bree thinks, right?
I don't have
I was
any
gonna say
idea.
there are 4 people in the same place, so we've already beaten
Yeah, right.
usual
Oh,
concurrency.
come on.
for
That's so
Champions
brutal.
It's accurate.
Oh. No. It still has. Whoops. Okay. Oh, I'm still in mouse look. No wonder. I'm just swimming a little. No big deal.
Yeah, I remember every time I had to, redo all of my keybinds over and over again because it was like, this is the one game where everything controls differently.
Yeah, but it's amazing how fast it does come back to you. I mean, the noises, the controllers, everything.
Totally.
I don't know. Maybe not for me so much. It's been much longer.
MJ, did you play I know you played some, but did you play hardcore? How much did you play?
No, I still had my mains, so I did come in here
Yeah.
and play with friends because, come on, flying superheroes.
Exactly.
Of course it was going to happen, but no, I didn't. And then I was out for a while until I came back with out for quite a while. Came back for Choose My Adventure, and then kept playing it for a while after that, and then but after that it was like MJ stream all the games, and then so it's become really hard. Everybody just goes, "Hey, so what game do you play?" I'm like, "What game do I
All of
not
them.
play now?"
All
Yes.
of them!
So yeah, this is not going to be a stream of me doing much talking. I am going to be monitoring chat, doing the camera, and finding out all the memories of Bree and Justin and who's
That
that
other
other guy? Eliot. I know who it is. And all of you guys in chat.
Card ambassador, who cares?
He's only our columnist for superheroes,
Oh, Catavery is asking, when did City of Heroes start back up? It didn't. I'm sorry. This is just a giant glorified pixeled chat room.
But you log into it and you can really fool yourself that it has.
Yeah, I hate to even call it just a chat room because you can do stuff. You can't fight. There's no combat. There's no mobs. There's no leveling. But the travel powers are in
You can
all
visit
of the
other
costume
zones.
creation. Yeah, you can. You can map travel to see all kinds of places that maybe you didn't even see during the original game. They have done an amazing job putting this together.
So I can go places that normally would have killed me before
Yep.
with no mob. There you go.
My kids asked, they were like, "Where are all the bad guys?" I went, "NCSoft killed them."
Oh, hey, they're in the NCSoft building right now and out of our reach.
Wait, is it too soon? I'm sorry.
It is never too soon to rip on NC Zone.
Well, they make it so easy.
They
I
know.
We
mean,
might be a little bitter here, okay? I'm sorry. I apologize. You can put one in the swear jar if you want every
Well,
time we
I
make
mean,
fun of NC
it's not
Soft.
even so much that I'm bitter. It's that, I mean, between the MXM thing and WildStar, NCSoft makes it really easy to make fun of them. Like, bitterness aside.
Okay, I like the premise of the MXM, though. I'm just, it's not quite my style of game, and but I think it's kind of a cool premise of a place to highlight uh, all the different, I would do that in my games. Be cool to have
Oh,
all
I
my
think
favorite characters from everywhere somewhere to play. I just personally, for my wanting to play, would have chosen but you couldn't really choose a different venue. So I guess there, no chance for that
MXM's
to
cool.
work.
See, I like MXM as a game, but adding Statesman, that's like,
Maybe it was just the wrong character to pay, you know.
that's on my list of things they did wrong, yes.
Yeah, I think if they had picked Penny, Penelope Inn, I think people would have been like, "Oh, wow, yeah, they totally get us." This was like, no, not only did they not get us, but slap in the face.
You know what's really like a slap in the face? A slap to the face.
Well,
It
no,
is mean to slap someone in the face.
no, no, Nightbot. Nightbot is worse than a slap in the face because I don't know if you guys know this, but Nightbot is mean and he is vindictive, and he's already slapped. Oh gosh, who did Nightbot go after first? Wolfie. Wolfie got slapped around a little. Who wants some? Got a warning.
I have no idea what you're talking about.
In chat, Nightbot is one of our
Ah,
auto mods, and he's very touchy. He likes to temporarily ban people and delete their messages if they do too many caps or try to put in a link or.
Secretly, NCSoft.
Oh,
They're starting I think this is the hero costume contest, not like the ultimate one.
ooh, cool. I'll get close. Where are they gonna do it?
They're doing it like it's kind of like under Atlas's butt.
All
I
right.
noticed that Tony V has mentioned that Nightbot also attacked him for, talking about putting the links to Paragon Chat. It also smacked him around for calling it Paragon Cat. And I should note actually at this moment that both of my cats are upstairs with me. So
Yeah, Tony, that Nightbot. I mean, it's kind of a joke in our chat of who's gonna be slapped around by Nightbot next. Sorry. So welcome to the club, actually.
There are a ton of people here. I am really blown away. I
yeah, I've
shouldn't
been
be.
watching
There
this
there
over the
was a
last
lot
couple
last year
hours.
too, but
And I logged in earlier this week, just random time, and there were still like 10, 12 people hanging around having fun.
Yeah, Kat had asked earlier if there were extra instances. No, I believe this is the. Well, you could go in here or go rogue. I don't know if that throws you somewhere different when you're creating your character. Hope
well,
it
I
doesn't.
think you gotta. Don't you have to port here? I ported here. Like I didn't. There's no questing, right? I mean, how else
No,
did
I
you get
started
I
here.
just used the map thing.
Yeah, I logged in.
I made my character and I said I didn't want the tutorial, and so I came straight here.
Oh, yeah, that must be my mistake. I took the tutorial.
Whoa, that guy's tail actually moves.
How do you get through the tutorial if there's no combat?
You don't.
Very
Like I
carefully.
said, I used the little map slash thing. I'd have to look up what it is, but then you can port to any map in the game using that. And I did hear them say earlier, I forget who it was, but I heard him say that they have taken away the caps for the zone. So this is everybody in Atlas Park right now.
Oh, nice. Now, hey, just a quick question for chat, guys. Are you guys hearing everything okay? Is there any extra echoing, or do I need to turn my voice down versus everyone else's? I just want to. I'm hearing a little echoing myself, but I think it may only be me that's hearing it with my Psycho headphones, but I want to make sure that my super mic is not catching everything.
I'm hearing a bit of echoing.
Me too.
To be honest.
All right, then I'm going to turn you guys down, and I'll have to turn me down a lot so that
Is there a giant fighter jet here in the costume contest, or is that just me?
I see it. I don't
First
know how you come up
prize.
with that.
I'm gonna go ahead and say that's probably Thundercracker based on the color scheme, not Starscream.
How'd they do that?
I have no
Well, you know
idea.
they transformed to jet mode.
They had like a Borg cube going before. They've been bringing in all kinds of weird stuff. I don't actually know if it's a GM or something messing with
Oh,
us
yeah.
or what.
Okay, so Wolfie's Eyes says that we need to hear Eliot sing to know whether or not the sound is good. So
Yeah, let's do it.
Yeah.
Yep.
yeah.
No,
Hit it.
I know he wants to hear me sing. It's good to want things.
What is this ice guy doing?
You could at least hum like the music from City of Heroes. I think that would be
Here he
appropriate.
comes
I don't
to
know all the
save
words.
day.
Go hunt, kill skulls.
There are no skulls to kill. It's so wrong.
Well, we hunted all of them. That's why there aren't any skulls.
We
Follow
won.
along.
That's it. Everybody go home.
Sleepy Kitty leave this place?
What was fifth column before they were fifth column?
Interesting. Nazis.
Oh, come on.
Oh wait, my mind
I
auto
just forget
replaced
what
the
the old-
council.
the council.
Well, no, they were originally the fifth column, and they got replaced with the council. And the council is boring and stupid, and I hate it.
I'm just trying to run around and get people's costumes. Don't mind me, folks.
Yeah, that's definitely Thundercracker.
What the heck is Thundercracker?
One of the Decepticon Seekers. You know, Starscream, Thundercracker, Skywarp, Thrust, Dirge, Ramjet.
Look,
So,
I
I
just
can keep
make
going.
characters and role controllers. You memorize the lore, I lock things down. That's what I do, that's what you do.
Apparently, controllers are the second worst class in the game, according
That
to
was
Massively
such
OP.
sacrilege.
I was,
That was the
foaming at the
truth.
mouth.
The commenters were calling for your head, Elliot.
And they were wrong.
I rolled. This is a
Truth
controller.
hurts.
Oh no, I rolled the pet thing. I think, you know, because it
You rolled
mattered
a-
so much.
Based on the display, you rolled a spider, which was a good call. Spiders are pretty cool. See, that's the thing, though. Ranking the worst class in City of Heroes, like,
That's
I had
easy.
tons of stalkers, and I still enjoyed the
It
heck
was
out of them.
stalkers.
So.
I mean, like, everybody agrees it's stalker.
Yeah.
And
So
it's
do
not
I-
even their fault. It's just the game was so not designed for us.
That was weird.
Spooky.
Asthma. I'm gonna brush my hair for a while.
Okay,
on
so
the skin,
playing
else
with
it gets
emotes,
all
that's fun.
Yeah, so many emotes.
Oh, we've got some drumming here. Sound the drums of war. Is his name Haggis?
I'm gonna shoot up some fireworks. Can't have a birthday without fireworks.
Oh, named it Mop Justin. Okay, I see.
Justin is very creative when it comes to
I thought maybe this is something we're all doing, dressing in Massively colors, using mop as our handle, but apparently not.
How could I have like competed with
A lot
Mo?
of
I
team
don't know.
spirit here.
I really am sorry, Justin.
I'm not.
Reading Rainbow. There's a what on earth? Is that an actual player? That's a ball of light?
You know, I know there's a lot of things to praise about the costume creator. The one thing I always loved was that there were severe height slider options. So you can make a teeny tiny little person.
If we've got someone here named Reading Rainbow, I have to resist the urge to post that DMX Reading Rainbow remix.
Nope, you're only allowed to sing it.
Rainbow.
There was somebody here earlier that looked like a Russian nesting doll. I
Oh,
can't
cool.
find her, but it was really neat.
Really?
It's called the Matryoshka doll.
Yeah, the Matryoshkas.
Okay, well,
I love those. I own some.
Justin is flipping you off right now, just so you know.
What?
Oh yeah. He
Swear
should.
jar.
Oh, that's not a swear. That's a gesture. Swears have to be words.
No. We're putting one up on the jar there.
I'll see. Back when I was playing, the tails never moved on costumes. They were just that horrible polygons
When
fixed
was
thing.
the last time you played seriously, Justin?
Yeah,
Seriously, it
that
was a long time ago.
Yeah, they changed that. That was back in Going Rogue, wasn't it?
Yeah, I never played Going Rogue. I would say maybe a year before that.
And for that, your name is not in the Book of Life, and you will not be spared when the revolution comes.
That
Okay.
actually explains a lot, though, Justin, because after that period, when they really increased the graphics big time, they were putting out new costume sets and new power sets like every freaking couple of weeks. It was nuts. It was awesome to cover, from our perspective, but as a player, it was like, yes, take my money. I'm buying all of this. Thank you. It was so great, and it was all so high quality, especially compared to the original, well, spandex, that's your choice, but it was just so awesome. And now it's like all of it is here, and all of the particle, like you can pick particle effects straight from the character designer. It's just epic.
Who said that mop people are good looking and willing to sign autographs? Who was that? I saw that chat. Was it you,
Justin.
Justin?
Oh, the people are asking for us to get Mop Chat up, whatever Mop Chat is.
Mop chat is a lot like this, except everyone's a mop.
That's what we should have done. We should have dressed up as mobs.
Do you know how close that came to being our April Fool's gag this year? Mop chat. You could choose, how fluffy the mop is. In a future expansion, we'll add, brooms.
Bloops has been sitting here singing, reading Rainbow in chat, by the way, trying to spur Eliot
Butterfly in the sky. I can
Okay,
fly
so now I'm
twice as
tempted
high.
I'm seriously tempted to post this link in here.
on. And
It has bad words.
Bloops also says they put shields in. And this looks like it was
I
before
remember
Going Rogue,
shields.
but no, Going Rogue is actually there. You can click it when you do the character creator, so I think it's in.
Oh, he probably means Shields. The Shields power set came out before Going Rogue.
Yeah, Shields was before Going Rogue.
Mm.
I remember shields, I remember bows.
Oh yeah, they put that in pretty early,
Yeah, bows
before
is what I
villains.
remember. Do you remember dual handguns?
No.
Yeah, that was Going Rogue. Demon summoning, handguns, I'm trying to remember, but kinetic melee. I loved kinetic melee.
Oh hey, is somebody named Topaz dissing on us?
No, he was being nice. He said we were helping keep him sane. He's
Oh.
in the costume contest. Or maybe it's a she, I can't see from here.
Mop has been helping retain some semblance of sanity in this long well, considering between the whole lot of us there's only a few threads of sanity to be had, so we're glad we could lend some to you. Well, somebody else later just said, hey, Topaz, Mop is good people. Oh, good. Work
That's
habit.
Work Habit. Yeah, that's Titan Network. That's City of Titans, dude.
Oh.
I told you, there's a lot of famous people here. By the way, famous people who are listening, we would really like to play this game, so can you please end combat? We will give you money.
Kickstarter. It's never
know
been
they
done
can't,
for a
I'm just
superhero
saying.
MMO.
Gosh, that's what I want to do so badly. Every time I come in here, I go, ugh, I want to play. It hurts.
Somebody just sent me a tell saying that Animated Tales came with issue 17 in 2010.
Wow, okay.
Thank
7
you,
years
anonymous
ago?
person.
Wow.
I love that
Because
somebody
that
knew
always
that
bugged
off
me
the
that
top
the
of her
tails
head.
were just fixed and they looked so unnatural.
Yeah, they just kind of bent in this little thing and then, you walked around with them. I tried building a character with a tail. I couldn't do it because it was too... Ugh.
See,
I
my
saw-
other main game is Final Fantasy XIV, so I have lots of experience with characters with tails.
I was showing my kids around some of these costumes, and there's a Spider-Man look-alike, and my son went, "That's Spider-Man!" No, wait, that's a cheap copy.
Oh, come on.
I'm like, well, that's the best they can do, you know.
So Justin needs a tune-up. He's leaving a mess everywhere. Wait, that's from one of our own mods. I don't know. Or maybe a
That
mod
is
lynching
actually-
soon.
Well, the thing is, Tanik, do you mind if I call you Tanik? Because I'm going to do it anyway. That's actually not the costume. Justin does leak a lot of oil everywhere, and for some reason,
It's when they're working me too hard.
the dude always has a handful of gears. I don't know what the deal is. Me, I'm mostly leaking, some kind of inky black ichor and just leave trails of it all over the place. So
You are the originator of the filth. You ruined the world. We found it. We solved it, Justin. Secret world, we have solved it.
Oh yeah,
oh,
Phil.
I am
yeah.
so tired. Look, we could spend all day talking about who originated the filth and who's,
No. We
in
are not
league with
talking
dark
Secret World and
forces
FunCon
squatting
tonight.
in the middle of darkness. We can, we can spend a whole bunch of time pointing tentacles, or we can move on.
We'll move on. We're talking superheroes.
Yeah, I'm not happy with FunCom right now. We can talk about something else.
Let's see. Raspy is asking, do they have GFX settings?
Yes.
I mean, just
Lots and lots and lots of them, and advanced ones too.
Mhm.
So like even if you don't have like a mega computer, you can play this, but you can also jack it way up.
And it used to look really good, as long as you ignore like the mitten hands. I mean, you gotta point out the.
You know
mitten
what?
hands.
My gloves do not have mitten hands. They fixed that with some costume parts later on.
Sort of. They're still mitten hands.
They're
Also,
kind of like
blue-
Barbie hands now, where they kind of cup.
Bloops
Like
is pointing
Legos.
out that back in the day, they would actually ban you for making a character who was too close to Marvel or DC. So
Oh
I
yeah.
remember
they
that.
they were very, very adamant about that because they did not.
They didn't
want to
get sued, right?
Then they realized nobody cares. Oh well. I'm watching this right now. All the two default idle animations where it's either fists on hips or crossed arms, over and over again. I love that.
I always like
Well,
the one where you hover or you fly and then you do the lotus. That looks really cool.
That's what this game was made in 2000s instead of the 90s, because otherwise your idle animations would just be drawing guns, hiding your feet.
oh, here's a guy dancing. Blue man over here, little Blue Manchu, and wow, that's a guy's running around with a target on his chest, and a very freaky clown face. I am turning names back on to find out Swackhammer.
Is it rude to pull out the boombox? I don't see anybody else with it, but how can you have a party without boombox?
Oh, I remember that.
I don't remember if people like outside of your group or not can hear it. You know what I mean?
I thought
just
they
remember that
could.
when they added the boom boxes, people were, like every public area turned into a impromptu rave. And obviously this was long before I worked for Massively, but I remember somebody had the best way of describing things about the boombox. How angry you were at the boomboxes turning everywhere into an impromptu rave, how angry you were about that depended on how much of a humorless tool you were.
We were always throwing these little dance parties because you're always waiting for one member of your group to get there to your instance, so yeah.
Here we go. Music, dancing.
Wait, did they really give the jet third place?
Somebody said that's the best jet costume I've ever seen.
That's actually the sad part. It's not supposed to be a jet. It was actually supposed to be a car.
Hey, the Beatnik. Welcome. Alright, do you guys have any questions for the gang here and all their exciting stories? Like your most epic death. I mean, come on, guys. Tell me your most epic death in City of Heroes.
It would involve falling. Probably.
You couldn't die falling, I thought. Could you?
I thought you could
Just
back in
he
the day.
found a way.
But we'd always, play that game where you go as high as you could, turn off your flight, and see, Halo drop and see how close you could get
now
to the
we're gonna try
concrete before turning it back on. You can't die now. I tried it.
Of course you did. What was I thinking?
I couldn't think of any other way to kill yourself, so.
Boy, and I'm the one who has depression. And you're the one trying to figure out how to kill yourself.
Zoom is asking, he says, I know this is going to date me, but does anyone ever remember, or did anyone ever play the Marvel's Create a Hero game?
Nope.
A Spider-Man movie
Nope.
creation game. Okay, that's super dated you apparently beyond all of us, because I don't know that.
It might just be that we don't know it, and not that you're old. Or both, it could be both.
See,
Yeah, I'm
Raskart's...
having a hard time remembering a really specific death. Like, they all kind of blend together, and they seem to involve, like, a lot of running back from the hospital, like, over and over and over again.
I just remember when I was still new to the game, and I was particularly, bad at it. And this was, close to launch. There was a skull boss in an early mission that I just kept going back into the door and dying, and then reviving at the hospital, running all the way back, jumping in again, dying, and each time I was like, no, I'm gonna get this guy. I wound up running up 2 levels worth of debt.
Yeah, that's the thing. I just remember being in groups and then having a chain of deaths and watching that XP debt bar grow and hating everybody you were with.
Yep. Terrible.
My experiences in groups with City of Heroes, I just remember lots of things exploding and lots of force fields and lots of enemies dying and somehow never ever seeming to take any damage.
Purple freaking triangles. They can all die. They can all go straight into the curse jar because that's where they belong. For those who have no idea what I'm talking about, bosses had buffs. They could buff themselves against you, and they would put up these purple triangles that would float in circles around them, and it basically meant that if you were playing a Dominator or a Controller, just go AFK because you are not doing anything on this round of the fight. And it just drove me nuts because, of course, that was what all of my characters were.
Wah, wah.
Congratulations!
Seriously, it actually made soloing at some levels of the game really, really difficult.
Who are we
Yeah, I hated
congratulating
any
here?
cave mission. Cave levels were the worst.
It's probably the jet.
Sister
I
Silicon?
think it's Sister Silicon, yeah.
Woohoo! Yay! Is that the first place winner?
Yep. Oh, she
And
was
of course-
badass.
And no matter how proud you ever felt about your costume, you'd log in and you would see somebody who was just so much better at designing
Yep.
a costume. And you're like, well, I feel like super crap.
3 hours to make this, and now I'm logging back out to start over.
See, I'm going to be honest with you. There was one character who I was always very happy with because I basically designed her like an action figure.
Who?
Right down to having
was
the
it?
different... it was actually my spider, Agent Sloan. My main, actually, after a certain point. She was my de facto main. And basically every costume was okay, what if it was sealed in plastic? Like how would you sell this one? It's like... Agent Sloan, toxic combat with
You and your
actual
spiders,
launch and
man.
grapple.
Yeah, you know you're old school if every time you rolled a new character, you'd have to go through Outbreak all over again.
Oh, jeez.
Wasn't there a badge or something for
Yes!
killing 100 people in Outbreak?
Yeah.
Which would take you 4 hours or something.
I never got that badge just because I tried sometimes and then I was like, this is stupid. I do not want this badly.
How could you not want an achievement or a badge? And I'm waiting to see that jet dance. I'm wondering if the jet can dance.
Well, it can dance if it wants
If
to.
it turns into a robot and dances,
can
that
leave
would be
your
the best thing
friends
ever.
Yeah, I'm trying to remember back. I don't think they launched with very many, like, the badge hunting game wasn't like a big deal. Like, I think there were a couple, but it wasn't like there were hundreds and people were ranking each other based on how many badges they
Yeah.
had until
Yeah,
like
no,
a lot later.
that came much later.
I
And
don't
Yeah.
was like
remember anybody chasing badges.
oh, I remember, and it was never like it wasn't like in a World of Warcraft sort of thing where everyone was like, you only have so many achievement points. It was always just a fun thing of, wow, this badge is terrible. It is a pain.
Right.
It is a pain in the rear to get. No one should ever get this. Hey, you have that. That's so cool.
Yep, that's one of my favorite ways of doing it too. Instead of making them cumulative like with an achievement system, instead you just pick one. You pick one that you're going to show off, and then it doesn't really matter, as long as you've got one cool one, you still look cool. You don't look like a total noob. Whereas with achievement points, you're going to look like a noob unless you're not.
All right, back to the chat room a bit here. Tony V says, you're old school if you remember not having an exit button on the compass. You had to click the info icon next to the mission name.
He also points out that you remember your old school if you remember there being no icon stores.
Oh yeah, oh my goodness.
Mm-hmm.
I don't remember the X thing, but that doesn't mean anything. I know I played in the beginning, but I don't really remember like details like that.
It's been such a long time.
I remember Taylor came with, what, issue 2?
Don't remember.
Yeah, it was early.
We all
early
just
on.
failed the trivia contest, by the way.
Yeah, I just remember like the first couple issues because everybody's super excited to have anything new in the game. So they're finally introducing capes and the Taylor and I think badges at some point right around then. That was all
We don't
cool.
need no stinking badges.
Tony, I sure wish I had some different boots. Oh well, time to re-roll.
This game should have kept track on each account of how many alts you created. Instead of a slash played, you'd do a slash alt and it'd say, like 1455 or something like that.
That would be pretty
Man,
sure.
I just realized the other day talking with someone that I've been playing the same character in some games for like 7 straight years. So, and that's for a game that's only been out 7 years. So,
Now, the one thing I never really got, and I never really saw much of them, were those kind of ascended classes, the dwarf and the squid, the alien squid, whatever they called them, Keldar. I don't
those
know.
were the heroic epic archetypes, and the reason you didn't see a lot of them because they weren't fun.
They
and
sucked,
were
yeah.
Right. I just never understood what Cryptic was thinking when they designed them.
Well, first of all, cryptic. And there is no
Well,
second
okay.
of all.
I mean, the problem is that was kind of their first, like, when we went back to that well with Going Rogue, or not Going Rogue, I'm sorry, City of Villains. City of Villains really tried to, design each of its archetypes so, like, brutes, as opposed to being, villain tankers, were, okay, these guys are kind of like stalkers, but they're also kind of like tankers, and they can fulfill either role, and they kind of, they're hybrids in a certain way. And, like, to use the spiders as another point, the spiders, like the crab spiders and the widows, they were very much okay, here's something that kind of is like a stalker, but also kind of like a blaster. It's not really either. But the problem with the good squids and the bad squids, I don't remember their actual names. I do actually remember their names, but I don't care. But the problem with them is that they tried to have, okay, well, in your normal form, you're a blaster, but then you can turn into another form, and now you're a, tanker, and you had no power customization within that. You had no real options, and because they had two other factors, they had, at least initially, there were enemies, scattered around in every enemy group who would deal huge amounts of damage to your squid, but would do no damage to almost every other archetype. And the squids were also balanced around getting a buff from how many other people you had in your party, which meant that when you were just around running out with you could easily solo with a controller or a defender, who neither of which seem like the most, durable and damage dealing classes out there. But with a squid, you basically had to be in a group at all times, and you could do nothing solo when they launched. And so people just kind of ignored them from that point on. Nobody really enjoyed them.
Yeah, I was most always a controller. I think my first character was a weather. I called her Weather Girl because I'm so imaginative. But I always loved the illusion controllers and dark defenders were
Dark anything, yeah.
sweet.
I like doing. I prefer. I didn't like illusion control as a set, but I had a lot of illusion controllers. My favorite one was named Good Idea.
I just like the pets, and I knew that at least at launch that was the one power set that had the most pets available. So there you go.
That makes
Yeah, the
sense.
thing is that controllers were never really meant as a pet class, but at launch they were the pet class. There wasn't anything else. It's just that you kind of forget that because, well, then you have masterminds, and that is the pet, like, of any game ever. That is the pet class.
Pretty much.
But it was so much fun to just like with your group jump into a big group of bad guys and just start planting all these illusion fighters and the guy who was like screaming fear and making them run all over the place. It felt cool. It felt like chaos in a can.
I
What was
had that.
the controller that like would charm people, but while they were charmed, you would get no experience for killing
Anybody, yeah, anybody with a confusion had that.
confusion. That was like the worst power set ever.
I really liked it, honestly. I used that on the plants one had that. It was like seriously my bread and butter. But I think they probably fixed it by the time
Right.
I was
Yep.
playing Dom.
Yeah, it was the thing with a lot of controller sets is that and mind you, I still liked controllers. I played a bunch of them.
No, no
But,
walking back on that, bud.
No, I'm not. I'm not trying to walk back on it. I 100% will. No, that really does deserve the spot of number 9. It's just that number 9 is pretty high. But no, the thing that was always like they were a lot of fun to just play around with because, especially when you had a group full of nothings, you could just walk into a group and be like, "Hi, were any of you planning on doing anything? No, I think I'm just gonna walk past you now. Bye, night."
They made the game just a total cakewalk. And I had the same experience as Justin, where my very first character was a controller. She was an ice kinetic controller, which I'm sure somebody with skill could make that work. I hated it so much. And in the end, I ended up completely rerolling into a bunch of other characters and then did the villains thing and then came back. And then it was all Storm from then on out. Like everything Storm, I had one.
And I'm going to go ahead. If anyone in the chat wants to, you can feel free to speculate about what my first character in City of Heroes was. Feel free to speculate, and I will tell if anybody gets close to it.
Oh, nice. That sounds like a fun
That's
little
hard.
challenge. All right, so
Bree, that's also open to you.
I'm trying to think what would
catching up on chat a little bit here. Kat knows me very well. Yes, I did take a screenshot of Atlas's butt. I thought it would just go very well with all the rest of the screenshots. And did you guys see the fish over here? I'm just curious. Did you
What?
see the fish? Mr. Big Fish. Over here,
Where?
by the other foot. The other foot.
The left.
Big fish.
I'm running
BK,
around.
Big fish.
I'm just running around getting stuff for additional, gallery doing and you, dude, I gotta step back. Justin's a little too close to me here. He's spewing stuff everywhere. There are some great costumes in here. If you really want to come in and just, you could come in and what I picture from this is, do you guys remember the comic strip we had for DCUO for a short time? I could see coming in here and you could dress up characters, you could get friends together, you could just keep making different things and taking the pictures and panels and making whole comic books in here. Do you guys see where my mind goes? That's,
I think it's been done.
but more and keep going. And for those who haven't been in here or maybe didn't get to play City of Heroes and be like, well, why would I want to go in there? If you like superheroes or you like being creative and making stories, hello, this is, you don't have to be able to draw and you could come up with some pretty fantastic comic lines, I think, with this. That's just what I see in all these people here. I instantly have stories starting to run through my head of what's going on and who's doing what, and someone's gonna grab Justin and throw him in a bathtub soon.
I would rust even more.
Jeez, probably. But yeah, I'm trying to grab because look at all the great stuff, guys. I mean, it's just so fun. And the shot of the people here in the Paragon City Hall, I had to get that one, you know.
With the torches.
With the
All
torches.
the torches, yep.
I remember because there was a big protest right outside of the city hall when the shutdown was announced, and we were all
Oh yeah. For
all
weeks.
gathered here. Well, I'm just thinking of the big like protest night, and the one that I actually went to, and I remember seeing there were just yep, everyone was on the Atlas, the city hall steps, just like there are right behind you, MJ, holding up torches, and I mean even then. You know, as it was like, oh man, we only have a little bit of time left in this game. And I was looking around and I was like, wow, I have never seen those parts look like that. That gives me an idea for a character, not to steal that appearance, but I can think of how to use some other costume parts in a different way that just that gives me that idea. So there's so much different stuff to do, so many different things to try out, so many different ways to build your character. I remember, you know, some characters I would just start in a costume like, I want to design something that looks like it came out of the Silver Age, or I want to design something that, you know, looks like it should have bandoliers slung over it, you know, should be hiding its feet behind rocks all the time. You could do almost anything. It's weird because the costume creator in this is weaker in some ways than the one than Champions, but it still feels like it's a more creative costume creator. And I don't know why that is.
Well, I was telling Bree, and she was laughing at me earlier this week, but that's okay. That City Heroes was the first game that really introduced me to the concept of the color wheel, because I remember looking at all these other. Well, it really was, because I was looking at all these costumes, going, "Wow, that's really great." So I'd go on the forums, and of course they'd have guides, you know, to making a great costume, and somebody really went into great depth about the color wheel. I wasn't in art classes or anything like that, so
I
it's
wasn't
really
in art classes. I knew what the color wheel was.
okay. Well, join Bree over there in the mocking Justin corner, but I'm just saying that was something cool that, you know, an MMO actually taught me. So, hey.
You can learn things from MMOs. You really can. I mean, some people just learned how to multitask simply by playing an MMO finally. Or there's, you know, the math. How many more stats do you need to get into the perfect piece of armor? I mean, come on, there's a lot of skills you can get. And yes, a lot of people, it's really awesome, guys. Thank you for everyone in chat answering questions from folks. So, yes, they were talking about these colorful barriers. They are from the story where it would help defend the city against, is it Rikti invasion?
The Rikti, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So that's where those came from. Looks like we're getting sunset here in just a minute. And just to let you guys know, Nightbot slapped War Cabot around a bit.
Can we turn off that bot, or are we stuck with it?
Unfortunately, it tends to be helpful in situations. Larry turned it on. It really has been helpful in some situations. Okay. Hashtag Blame Larry is very much a Twitch thing, so, you know, we have to. We need to have Larry here somehow, right? That's how we bring Larry to all of our...
Poor Larry.
We could turn it off, but actually, I don't know. I think sometimes chat gets actually a kick out of it.
Those guys are rowdy down there, so...
They are troublemakers. There's a flamethrower ferret.
Mess around too much.
There's a flamethrower ferret in here. Are you guys saying in game? Because I want to see that.
Wait, what?
Spiral Pegasian says there's a flamethrower ferret in the house. So I want to find this flamethrower ferret.
I love this game so much.
However, Spiral Pegasian is also named after a boss from Mega Man X. So you know, take it with a grain of salt.
Okay, ferrets with salt. I mean, I'm good with that.
Yeah, MJ, you were talking about math before, and this being, well, video games in general being good for math. I don't know about math, but logic puzzles, I mean, how many of you guys remember playing with mids? Tell me that was not like a logic puzzle from hell. No, nobody played with mids? Was I the only one?
I don't. I'm at a loss. I'm sorry.
Wow, I'm really surprised Elliot and Justin did not
Miss
mess around with
Rice,
it.
such a product does not exist. I think you must have dreamed it.
Oh my goodness. Okay, so basically, you didn't really have gear in this game. You had enhancements, and as they kept adding stuff, they changed the way enhancements worked and how you were basically slotting your skills so you could kind of tweak them to do other things. Like if you had a hard control, you could tweak it to last really long or do extra damage or whatever you wanted to do. And then they started adding enhancement sets so you could like combine them together and combine them throughout your build and all kinds of
Enhancement,
crazy
diversification.
stuff. Yes, ID. But you basically used
didn't do
mids
that?
and you could like plan out what your character was going to do and like literally down to the percent, the tiniest little detail to
You guys used
squeeze
a-
all
you-
of the power out of your character. It was
You
awesome.
used a tool for that?
Yes, heck yes, I did.
Look
Well,
at
you
that
remember-
tree.
I
You
just-
didn't.
Remember
Log-
back in the day,
I
Hammer-
didn't need a tool. It was all pretty straightforward. I just,
I forgot that you
jotted it
are a
down.
prodigy and you don't need this, but I liked it. It was an awesome tool.
No, I'm sure it was. I just literally never knew that there was a tool. So, or if I did, I never used it much, and I mostly just went with, oh, okay, yeah, that all makes sense.
A lot
remember-
of people in chat agree with Bree and use their mids. So there
Thank
you go,
you.
Bree.
I'm gonna
Thank
get
you,
a
Beetle.
I'm not
sentence out
saying
here.
she's
I'm
lying.
going to get a sentence out. You remember way back when Jack Emmert was very public about saying that he didn't want to release any of the numbers behind any of the IOs.
Oh, yeah.
Right? Any of that, it's like, well, we just want you to have a general idea because we don't want people min-maxing and all that. And we're like, well, have you met MMO gamers? Well, they obviously changed that later on, but yeah, I remember he was really adamant about that for a while.
Yep, how'd that go? Have you ever met MMO players?
I feel there's a Bender quote that applies there.
You're not going to share it?
Oh, wait, you're serious. Let me laugh even harder.
That's the one.
I can't do a good Bender. That's not in my impersonation wheelhouse.
All right, so what do you guys, let's talk pet peeves. What do you hate the most about this game? Because so far we've all been like, I love it so much, and I do. But there are probably things that tick you off. What ticks you off?
I said caves. I hated not the big wide open cave ones, but the little twisty turny ones. Any time we were with a group in one of those, you get line of sight issues and you get 3D stuff. That was frustrating. Or getting separated from your team and then having somebody blindly stagger into a group and suddenly they're like, incoming, run to the elevators, because they were about ready to wipe your group. So yeah, that was kind of sucky.
I feel bad banging on City of Heroes for this because I can think of a game that is much worse about it, and I'm just going to say right now, Guild Wars 2. But, one of the things that always bothered me a little bit about City of Heroes was, I was mentioning before that I remember group missions being a matter of everything exploding and no one ever taking damage, and a lot of group stuff really did kind of just boil down to everybody do stuff and there's not nearly as much coordination. While it was really fun that the game let you, build all sorts. I think, Bree, you and I were talking at one point about how City of Heroes players could take a power set that does nothing but kill you over and over and still probably find a way to build it to
yep.
use to take care of,
like
plus
gravity
ones.
control, for example.
Yeah. But, and you could totally do that. But the downside is, to a certain extent, it was kind of every man for themselves, everyone doing their own thing in a group and just spamming a whole lot of stuff. And like I said, I feel bad bragging on it for that because it's far better in that regard than, say, Guild Wars 2's dungeon design.
I don't know about that,
I think it
Eliot.
was worse.
I don't think I agree. I think it depends on like what kinds of characters you play. If you played a lot of melee, and I have a feeling you did, I could see where you would think that. But if you played a lot of defenders, especially the buffing kind of defenders, like I had like 5 different Sonic tunes, like Sonic Defense. Like what was I thinking? But I loved buffing people, and I really feel like I had a lot of synergy with the people around me. But to be
Oh,
fair, I played in teams and we like built our characters to like work with each other. So
and I'm
if you
not
were
saying
just
you. I'm not saying you had no options, and like I said, that's why I said I feel bad
yeah, I
even
see what you
knocking
mean.
it at all because, you know, there were aspects of it here, but it's nothing like well, Guild Wars 2, where it literally, do I have a party? I don't even know.
Well, I have something tangentially related to what you're talking about, but not exactly. I mean, my biggest pet peeve was just way too much in the visual effects department. When you're in a group, everybody, as you're saying, like people are way too eager to start firing off all of their powers all at once.
All of them. All the
All of them,
effects.
everything. And after a while, you couldn't see squat on the screen. It was just like this bedazzling light show. And Bree and I differ on this. I mean, she loves it. I
That's my
hated it.
favorite part.
It would make me not have a seizure, but I would just kind of back away from the computer, and I would get a headache after a while, just going, there's nothing to fix my eyes on. It's just a bunch of random flashing lights, and hopefully eventually the bad guys are dead. But it was very hard to ever visually follow what was going on in any given fight if there was a group versus another group. My other pet peeve I just want to throw out real quick was the sound that Force Bubbles made. I hated it. It put my teeth on edge. I hate it.
That and the leadership skills. I actually modded those out. You know the one I'm talking about that went shwung? That one.
Yeah.
You know what I'm
Yeah.
talking about too.
I forgot they
totally
even
modded
And I
that
existed,
out.
but
think
yeah.
I think Justin actually has a point though about the visual because while I liked that you'd run into a group and well it would look like a superhero conflict because all of a sudden everything's exploding with ice and fire, but it did get to be kind of visually overwhelming and there were moments where again it could e- even if you were playing a buffing class it could feel, am I really having an effect on things, or is things are just kind of exploding around me and it's hard to find a point to fixate on. And on the one hand, that's fun. On the other hand, it has its drawbacks.
More
Did I-
particles,
Also,
please.
Did I get,
Radiation emission was cool.
did I get
Radiation
kicked out of
emission.
group?
Yes. I crashed, and that's probably why I think our group went boom. Sorry about
Oh.
that.
Okay, I was like, I've been booted. So what are really fun places to go? I mean, obviously people are hanging here at Atlas. I mean, I remember even doing this way in the beginning. You got to come to Atlas, and of course, you got to go up to the very top of the globe, get your achievement up there at the very tippy top,
The donut
the
hole.
badge.
You gotta find the donut hole and get that badge.
Well,
Mhm.
I've really enjoyed spending some time here with everybody, but I really got to get going. I got to do some evening stuff, feed the cats and stuff.
Oh, he's gonna go do work and life.
You're gonna miss
I
the
mean,
finale.
oh man.
I am gonna miss the finale. What was was there a finale? Did we
Yeah,
have a
they've
finale?
got one more. They're gonna take all the winners from all of the other contests and make them fight. Not for real though.
Yeah, but
Fighting
that's just it, they
Doctor-
can't actually fight.
No.
Fighting Dr. V in the sewer. That was like a rite of passage.
Oh boy! Oh, I remember fighting Dr. V in the,
The
sewer.
puking
fighting the
zombies.
endless chains of puking zombies, and let's all praise City of Heroes right now, deep within your heart of hearts, for saying, finally, here is a game where you have something other than zombies who just sort of shamble and swipe at you ineffectually. No, let's have a whole
These
bunch
zombies
of
will-
weird
yeah.
medical zombies that puke on you, and some of them explode in your
They
face.
will run up and kill you. Yes, right in the face.
Now, see, Work Habit says, yes, that is your boombox, and Tony mentions that cats are hunters, let them feed themselves. The problem is I think at that point Eliot will start losing his ankles and some toes. So,
Was that it? Were you a cat girl? You were a cat girl. That was your first character.
Nope.
Ah, damn.
Not even I actually never made a cat character in this game.
I
Again,
really
played,
gave up. I really don't
I
know what
played
it was.
I played FF11. I play FF14. Trust me, my life is already lousy with cat people.
but cats
My-
are awesome.
They are. My first character was actually a fire tanker.
Wait, really?
Yeah,
How was I supposed to guess that?
you weren't.
Oh.
That was why I put it out there, because I figured you'd guess wrong several times, and then it'd be all like, "Wow, I did not see that one coming."
I did not see that one coming.
Tankers taking it for the team.
Did
In
you
more ways than one.
still have that character at the very end of the game? Now that would be epic. Because
Oh,
I
of
still
fucking
had my
course.
originals, like stranded off on other servers, but they were still there.
I didn't. Much like I don't remember ever taking damage in certain group content, I don't remember ever deleting a character.
That's like sacrilege. Who could delete characters? I mean, other than like you went in, you made it, you did something wrong.
But you can only have so many on the server, right?
Yeah, you had to keep buying character slots, and how many could you have? Does anybody remember the actual max? It was something crazy, like 90 or something. But there were people who did it. I played on multiple servers just to get around it.
Beatnik had 70 alts all told.
Yes, that's epic.
Go Beatnik!
Because that's really what kept her interested in the game is, you got a little bored with your character. Like, hey, I'm going to roll up a new all. I'm going to try a new
Totally.
power set combination. I'm
At
going to
least
try a
toward
new
the end.
concept.
Because like it wasn't like that in the beginning. I definitely want to stress that when I first started playing the game that first summer after it came out, it was so like you could roll other characters, but the grind was so terrible. It was so freaking slow, and it was really really hard to solo. So like people didn't alt like they alted by the end. I think really once that cryptic to Paragon shift happened, they were all about like switching from that, okay, you play one character and maybe you have a second character, to screw that. This game is all about longevity in alting. And that's what they did, and they really encouraged it. Everything was sped up for leveling. It was just nuts. It was crazy. You could just make so many characters. You finished, you could either keep, incarnating up or just play a million other tune. I love that. More
And
games
that's
need
Yeah.
that.
that is the thing, and I think that's the biggest reason why a lot of people, remember the game so fondly, is because there was, especially later on in its life, there was a really big focus, and this was a very big development push of saying, you know what, instead of telling you you're going to play this way, the developers were really good about saying, hey, people are already playing this way, it's not harmful to the game, so let's make it easier to
Embrace
do so.
it, yes.
And that's like when Going Rogue came out, they were like, you know what, fitness, everyone takes fitness. Every single person takes the fitness pool.
Yeah.
So
I
we're just
didn't.
removing that. You take it. You just take it.
You would
Oh, I
have,
did.
trust us.
Level 14, you're always excited to get your travel power. Level 20, you're always excited to get stamina. So you weren't running out of it.
Yep,
I mean,
and
once
so they
you're
just
in
said
your 20s, you're
everyone
like,
just-
you've arrived.
Everyone gets it. So they just decided, you know what, from now on, everybody gets it. And
'Cause
that's...
It just sucked. You spend so much time getting 2 levels for new power, and you're like, I've got to spend 6 levels on the fitness, that whole line, and it was just like, oh, that was the worst. So get it out of the way early on, and
Fantastic change.
Okay, before Eliot leaves, so 2 things. You
I probably
guys
left like 20 minutes ago.
gotta look at Reading Rainbow here, who is a bunch of rainbows with 3 books around him. This is now my favorite person ever in this game.
How is he doing that?
I don't know. And the second one, Age Myth, has
He's
to be
taking a look.
second
It's in a
favorite.
book.
He made a very rushed Mo to come in here.
Where?
I'm looking, I'm spinning, I'm trying to find.
He's right by here. Right next to Reading Rainbow, actually.
Is that Mo?
That looks like Mo.
Oh, there we go. He's like
I
seriously
see
right
him, I
next to
see
me.
a moment. Is that Age? Is it really? Age,
Yes,
you're
that
so
is
awesome.
Age. We have a Momith. Look, he's got the M on his chest.
Get
Bravo!
lots of pictures.
Yes, here we go. With the dancing cat behind him. Not quite as bright. I think, see, should be silver. Oh, there we go. Do the pose. Do the pose. There's Mo. I'm missing the, exclamation point on the head, though.
Boy, you're just never satisfied.
No. I mean, that's like... It's just quintessential Mo. But that is pretty darn close. That is awesome.
That is a noble effort and points to you for trying. Points to you for, quickly banging out a character based on Mo.
I'm impressed.
You win, Age. You win for this, man.
Mo should get an honorable mention
Oh,
in the
the
costume
flex.
contest. Alright, so I think they said we were up to 102 characters showing up for this right now. That was the last count I saw.
Oh, is that what that yelling out of 102 mop was?
Are we beating champions yet?
Are we-
I really have nothing against champions.
Wow.
It's just fun to mess with them.
I mean, you'd think it'd be
Somewhere
supportive,
there's
man.
a part-time dev that's just sitting there with their shoulders slumped going, I'm trying, man, I'm trying.
I know. Like I said, whoever's left working on the game, God love them, because they are everything, but they cannot be a full dev team all in one person.
Not with that attitude.
Maybe they like hand it off to whoever's like touring the studio that day, and if you step in here, you get to
Aw.
run Champions Online.
I like champs. It's just not City of Heroes. That's really the only thing wrong with it.
And that's the biggest is that it's so not City of Heroes, and that's its biggest weakness. It's not
There
just
were a lot
that
of
it's
really
not-
good things about it. I did enjoy Champs
No,
for about
I like-
Yeah, me
5
too.
months
I
or so.
like
but...
Champions. I don't dislike it. It's just, you know, it somehow managed to find all of the most annoying aspects of City of Heroes and go more with them.
Well, there's a reason for that, and I think it has
Well,
a lot to
yes.
do with that Cryptic Paragon split once again.
Now, I'm not gonna say, you know, what, I'm just gonna leave it at this. There's a reason nobody wants Statesman around.
Apparently, some people did like him. I'm kind of ambivalent. A penny in for president, as far as I'm concerned.
Well, I am going to step out, but you know, Bree and Justin and MJ will remain, and I'm sure that Bree will, you know.
As soon as
great
you're gone,
depth
I'm gonna
explain-
tell everybody how wrong you are about controllers. I'm just waiting at this point.
Oh, I know you are, and you know it's okay. I understand that you know you need to assuage.
How can you put
your
tankers
fears.
above controllers?
Right?
Tankers.
Yep.
Your job is
tankers.
to show up and be a wall. And you have like 2 skills: stand still and
I actually kind of liked my tanker, to be fair, but I played a
Yeah,
very
tankers.
controllery tanker. She was,
I always wanted to
Ice
do an
Controlling
ice
dark.
tankers
ice.
are fun.
yeah.
They were supposed to be the weakest.
Oh, totally. But some of them, like if you played your cards right, literally played your enhancements right, you weren't the weakest. Although in most cases you should probably just play a scrapper.
Well, yeah, because you know who tanks in City of Heroes?
Well, that was the nice thing
Just
about.
run through.
Well, you used
you're
them for
leaving,
hurting
Eliot.
more than
You've been
anything.
leaving.
Yeah, get the heck out of here. No, I'm kidding.
That was the
All
nice
right.
thing about being defender or controller. You felt like slightly you were doing the classes not everybody in the world was doing, which were blasters and scrappers. So
Yeah.
it felt slightly unique.
Oh, I love Defender. We haven't even really talked about Defenders and how
Mhm.
awesome.
They
Just-
really were.
Just the whole, like the concept of even needing a Defender. There were healers, but they were just not, that was not what this game was about. It was not really about healing. It was about defending, and nobody else does it like that. Maybe, you know, Guild Wars 1 does it like that. Nobody else really did, and it was so much fun. It felt like playing a superhero, and yet you were still, like, support. You know, you were still supporting
Yeah.
your team.
You weren't just standing in the back like watching a health bar going doing doing. You're in the middle and you felt just as important as everybody else fighting. That was really cool. Plus dark. Come on.
You know,
so
I don't
much
think
fun.
I ever rolled a dark. I did have a bunch of dark defenders, but I don't think they were dark. They were, you know, why would you do dark when you can do storm? That's really the question. Why would you do anything when you could do storm?
I actually didn't, even though it was my first power set. I never liked Storm that much. I felt like it was a lot of groups didn't like the fact you were, unless
Yeah.
you're really good at using Hurricane or whatever to push
Yep.
everybody in corner. They didn't like you messing around with mob placement, and I don't know. I wasn't really a big like X-Man Storm fan, so I just But how many? If you had to take a spitball guess, how many Wolverine knockoffs did you think City Heroes saw in this course of its lifetime?
Oh my goodness. I would guess everybody who, even I had
Claw
one, so
Regen,
I'm
Claw
guessing
Regen.
everybody had one, yes. Of course mine was a girl, but whatever.
Hey,
Hey,
X-23.
X-23 is pretty dang awesome, so, you know.
Yeah, I totally get you on Storm, but there were some power sets you could like really use it to good effect. Like if you had a Thug's Storm, I had a Thug's Storm Mastermind. That was just hilarious. And you could actually slot. You probably didn't really do a lot of this because of when you quit playing, but you could actually slot your Hurricane to not knock people back. That was really
Oh, that's
cool.
cool.
Yeah, you could
Yeah, we did.
remove knockback effects and like especially in bosses and stuff, they just wouldn't even move. So you're just like debuffing the crap out of like everybody you bump up against. It was awesome.
As much we didn't really talk about the expansions either. And like City of Villains came out, it was cool, and I really loved the Mastermind, but I never quite got into it at the same level I did with the original. And possibly it's because it was, World of Warcraft was running really hot by then, and that had a lot of my attention.
Oh
But
yeah.
yeah, I mean, even the lure of playing the bad guy, just like I wasn't really connecting with the zones and the missions, even though they were more advanced and better done and stuff like that. But
Yeah, see, and I'm at the opposite because when my guild started playing, we kind of washed out because of the grind. But we came back for City of Villains and we had just finished playing a villain group in another game, a totally different
oh yeah,
game. So we were like all about the villains. Everybody in my guild played. We played for months. Everybody got to the cap. It was so awesome. That's actually like one of the things that brought us back. And then when part of the guild washed out, we ended up switching to hero side because it was more group friendly, and then we just went off in that direction. I love the villains. And MJ, to answer your question, you should go to the villain zones because honestly, I think they are the best zones in the game. Even more than Pretoria, which are the newer zones. I really think the villain zones, they're really atmospheric and cool.
Oh, we should. I mean, we don't want to go right now, though, because, you know.
No, no, no. I mean, the next time you're doing a tour, now that you have access to this.
Look at this. Look at the folks lining up right now. Okay, the flame guy, my pyro tendencies, I'm here to say that guy's all win. All win. Total win. Love him. Hope he gets all the prizes.
How did he get that skinny? How are people doing that? I'd like to know. He
Inquiring
looks like a
minds.
tree.
He is a tree of some sort, I guess.
But yeah, one of the things I'm looking forward to is letting my kid play with this. Because he saw me logging in earlier and was like, "Oh, what's that?" And I mean, it's superheroes, like from the town hall to Atlas's butt, and he wants to roll one, he wants to play one. He's gonna have the best time in here, and I'm so sorry
hmm
he can't play the real thing.
yeah,
I
same
mean,
with mine.
I even got my dad to play this game. That's the hilarious part. He came to visit me. I mean, gosh, it was when we still lived in California, and he came to visit, and I showed it to him because he's like a major superhero fan from way back, comic collector kind of dude. And he was like, "Well, it's an MMO, so I'm probably not gonna like it." And he sits down and he spent like 4 hours in my computer desk making a character and actually going through the tutorial. It was hilarious.
Yeah, I remember it when it came out, and I was so excited. I hadn't really been super into MMOs before that, and bought the game, but I bought it on the way to work, and so during lunch I was like poring over the manual. That was
The
back when
manual,
they
yes.
had manuals, but I was going through all the power sets, going like, oh, which ones do I want first? And that's so cool. You can like mix and match, and it was so hard to choose. And yeah, I mean, it was a wonderful way to spend about a year of just it was right before I met my wife, so I still living by myself. It was last year living by myself, and just really enjoyed like getting into an MMO for the first time, joining super groups, guilds for the very first time in my life, and starting to understand what all these MMO things are about. It was a very fun. I mean, even though it was kind of more hardcore and had really harsh aspects at first, it was still kind of a very nice, casually
Yep.
approachable game, which is cool.
If you had friends, for sure. Like if you had like a group that you could actually, I mean, I guess people bugged, but I didn't really do that very much. But I had that same experience with that manual. That's hilarious. I wonder how many other people have the manual story. Because we had like just moved to New Mexico at the time, and so we were still kind of like taking road trips, and we would go out on these road trips, and I remember this one loop that went up like over an extinct volcano. And I have like this very specific memory of going over the like pass through the caldera and reading that booklet to Paul while he was driving, my husband. Well, he wasn't my husband at the time, but you know what I mean. And like reading him all of the powers that we could pick and just completely getting engrossed in that. I can't even remember the last MMORPG that made me do that. Because that's just not just the manual thing, but like the intricacy of the kinds of choices you were going to be making for your characters just doesn't happen. Like no one would do that with a WoW talent tree. You know what I mean? That's you just
Yeah.
wouldn't. It just doesn't happen.
That's part of the fun of a superhero genre too, is they could really be super creative and cross genres, and nobody would blink twice. It was like, okay, you want a guy with a sword and shield? Sure, why not? You want to have a guy who's shooting radiation out of his butt? Yeah, okay, go for it. It's like that. Yeah, it was really cool. It was so empowering to use your imagination in the creation of your character and the development of your power sets and your costume and everything like that. Just there was a lot more personal connection too, um, which was kind of sad going from that to WoW with your 3 head choices and
Yep, and the community was really good about rewarding it. I mean, we're sitting here looking at a costume contest in a game that doesn't exist anymore, but people did this all the time in the original game, like all the time. There was always a contest going on. You were always being complimented and rewarded for, the more creative you were, the more compliments you were going to get.
we were so narcissistic.
We
Look at
were
me,
in a
look at
way,
me.
but that was part of the game, right? Because
Yeah.
it wasn't like you were gonna level up and get raid gear and people were gonna ooh ah while you were dancing on the mailbox. This was like you did that in the beginning. It was like totally
Yeah.
inverted. It was awesome.
You can look awesome from the very first second you get in the game, or more so if you spent money on it.
Yeah, or yeah, I mean you got more like you got capes and you got particle effects and better titles and stuff, but you could do so much just in the beginning, especially once they added power customization. That was like for me when it totally took off.
Come on, you all know that capes are bad. You've seen The Incredibles.
Well, the game
Right?
didn't even have them at launch.
It's true.
Capes are bad. I almost got a cape and then I was like, nope, I know better. I know better than to make a cape.
They made a big deal out of it when they added them. They actually had a whole lore reason why apparently all the superheroes weren't wearing capes. It was out of respect for Hero 1, I think, who had
Oh,
died.
is that true? I don't remember that.
Yeah, like
That's
that's the only
awesome.
thing I remember. Of course, I don't remember tons of stuff, but I remember that because it was just a really cool little lore bit.
That's really funny. I do remember doing the quests. I don't remember, did they take the quests out eventually? I can't remember, but I remember them being really a pain in the butt because there were so many missions you had to do to get just a cape.
Yeah, Raspy is saying capes would be earned at level 20.
Yeah.
You start doing the
Mhm.
quest at level 20. Same with the beatnik, so... Yeah, I have a long jacket, no cape. Does that count? Well, that's going the kind of gambit route, right? That may not work. May not be as
Make me
bad.
look like Neo.
Did they have bow staff fighting or anything?
Yeah, they added staves.
Well, that's cool.
They added so much stuff. They added the water stuff was like one of my favorite things that they added. That was like, that might have been the last power set they added. Somebody will remember. I don't remember. Yeah, it was out of control by the end. I mean, just when I think of like if they had gotten a couple more years, how much more stuff they would have added and like how much richer. Like it already felt so rich and how much more stuff we would have gotten. It makes me even angrier at the whole situation. They were just so on a roll. I just can't even explain it.
Yeah, you kind of think of those alternate universes where City Heroes is still running and what it would be like today, and or so many other games. Like, what would the landscape be like? How would it have impacted the other games, the rest of the genre? Would we just be sitting here going like, "Oh man, that's like Champions Online. There's like 20 people left." Ha 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 ha. I don't know. I mean, like before City Heroes, like they announced a shutdown, I didn't think about it that much. I had kind of moved on, but there was something about losing the game that suddenly just made you go, "Oh, I remember why I like this," and oh, all those years I wasted not playing it. I should have been playing it more. Oh, woe is me.
Yeah, no, I was still playing it. Cause see, I mean, I had just lost Star Wars Galaxies, so like this seriously,
I know.
I
You
got
had
it
the
in there. I
worst
got to
year.
mention it. I was having just Star Wars Galaxies and then Glitch and City of Heroes and then Sunshine, like all in a row. But like City of Heroes was like my second favorite. So Star Wars Galaxies was gone. Well, okay, I threw my whole soul into City of Heroes and then they stole that one too. Those
You're the only
jerks.
person in the universe that mourns Sentia.
I know
But
I am.
that's beautiful though.
I love that game. It's still alive in China, apparently, although I don't think you can get to it from here.
Wait, what's still alive in China?
Do you remember Zensha? That little
Nobody
Changi
remembers
game? Nobody
Sentia.
remembers it.
No.
I'm not even
Anyway,
convinced it was an actual game at this point.
it's the one where you
No.
can play a baby, like, or a monkey. It was,
Never heard of
like,
it, Bree.
weird and
Fever
awesome.
Dream, she had one year, and she's been running with it ever since. Yeah.
Well, see, back in 2011,
Next, she's going to tell you
2012,
about this browser game where you're playing in the imaginations of giants. Huh.
Stop shutting down my MMOs, people. Seriously though, when they shut down City of Heroes, I like started to get like a total complex about it. Like I started feeling like, oh my gosh, they're really taking away everything I like. Maybe I really don't represent the MMO player that people are going after. And it took me like a couple of years to say, nope, that was just unlucky and get over yourself. But I really started to feel like maybe I didn't belong in the genre anymore. I don't know. I mean, from what I hear from other City of Heroes players who are still kind of, keeping the torch in the air, they haven't really found a home either. I mean, people play games, but that's different from finding like a place where you really feel like, oh, this is the one.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I kind of worry for my job when I refind, if I'm able to refind the one. Because Bree will be like, MJ, would you like to stream or play? No. MJ, how about you stream? No. Sorry, I'm busy in this game. I mean, I'm almost scared I'm gonna lose my job if I end up finding the game again. My usefulness will go out the window.
Hey, I know what you mean, but then again, hey, at least you'll have your game, right?
Game, paycheck, game, paycheck. I don't know. There's a little bit of correlation there. You get the game if you get the paycheck, but yeah, no, it does. I don't know. My first thing that I really dove into like that was galaxies, and as I was talking about in yeah, somewhere, what, the survivals. Oh no, it was overthinking. I mean, even if the game came immediately back though, I think what some people don't get too is uh, the real bit. It's not rose-colored glasses, but the real super magic really was the perfect combination of time frame, community, and the game and stuff. So you can even have the game back to play. But for me, as much as I love Star Wars Galaxies and I would go back there, the actual life and such that was there at the community wouldn't be there again. So it actually wouldn't be the same. So in that case, I actually want a new one, because the new memories and everything. But City of Heroes, I mean, how many people would have been burned and not come back, or more jaded, or I mean, would some of the magic be lost if City of Heroes actually came back in a playable form? Would people actually like get depressed to find out that it doesn't have that same exact magic that it originally did?
I have good news for you. We're gonna find out because there are 4 of them being made.
Because I mean, seriously, as the psychologist and sociologist, that kind of fascinates me. On, at what point is it going to be like, hello, glorious! I'm so excited. You go back into the thing, and then it kind of hits that it's just not what you were hoping again. That it changed, like you changed, so that it evolved. And most people can work around that and just move from there and have great experiences from there. But I wonder how many people are going to be hit very emotionally with the fact that it's no, even if it was the most perfect exact copy, it wouldn't be the same.
I'll take it.
Bree's
No,
like, it doesn't
really,
matter, I'm
I'm
gonna do
wondering.
it.
Yeah, I'm not concerned. I mean, I came and went to City of Heroes so many times, until it felt right that I can do that with the spin-offs. Take my money. By the way, is that really Smedley in chat? Like John Smedley, formerly of SOE and Daybreak? Or is that just some guy named Smed?
And
In
wait,
chat, in game.
um, mine's so small and it's going through. I'm trying to.
We started talking about Star Wars Galaxies and I think he showed up. That's kind of awesome.
I could have. I don't see him. Maybe
It
my
may have
chat is
scrolled
too
through.
small.
He came in and wished everybody a happy COH day. How cool is that? Classy.
That is awesome. He pops into random, even small streams and stuff. He comes in, says hi to people, takes off, and I don't know. It's interesting. Now I got to scroll and keep looking.
I remember doing an interview with him way back when, and I was kind of complimenting back when SOE was still, picking up games, and
Hey, they're
explaining
doing that again now.
Yeah, well, I said,
Yeah.
well, there's what's your next game you're gonna pick up, and save, and he said, well, what would you suggest? And I said, well, what about City Heroes? Well, we already have DCUO. I'm like, oh yeah.
Yeah, that's part of the problem. And Perfect World already had champs. And those were the two
Right.
most likely candidates. Not
I'm
that
like,
Perfect
well,
World
it's
wouldn't have
not
done
like
it,
you
but
didn't have 2 fantasy games. You have a lot of fantasy games. Why not 2 superhero games? Oh well.
I think they were enough different. I mean, coming from someone who played DCUO some and City of Heroes some, they were definitely different. Because this one was all very original lore versus, people who wanted to run through Gotham and run through Metropolis and, run into the Joker and stuff like that. So, I don't know. I definitely think that there was definitely room for both of them, in my opinion. But my opinion doesn't, pay devs to keep going on the games.
well, that's why I think it's going to be so interesting once we start heading toward the end of the year into next year when, we start really getting our hands on City of Titans and Valiant's Online in particular, since those are probably closest to coming out. Although it wasn't, crap, the newest one was actually supposed to be alpha.
Ship of Heroes?
Thank you, Ship of Heroes by the end of the year. So, I mean, we're going to have an interesting face-off as the indie, successors are actually doing their thing and actually coming up with something we can play instead of something we can just follow. I don't know, maybe I'm the only one excited about that in here, but I really, really am. Because I feel like, a lot of the games that are being made, the Kickstarter type games, they're being made by developers who really like a certain kind of game. We have a lot of PvP sandboxy type games, but these superhero games are being made by a totally different group of indies, a totally new style of indie kind of team, and they really, really get City of Heroes specifically. They aren't just following a genre, they're following a specific template for a game and spinning it off into a modern direction, and I just can't wait to see what they come up with.
No, I agree. That sounds pretty fascinating. I almost worry about the like I say, there's the two different angles, but is it going to become a real glut if all of them do come out? Or will it really fracture the little bit of the base, or are most people thinking that not all of them are going to come to fruition and they're just going to.
Yeah, I think that's probably where Heroes and Villains is. They seem much further behind. They do put out like pretty much weekly updates, but they haven't really been showing like video stuff, character customization. They don't seem to be in the same spot. So if they're still, on track, they're way behind the other three. But from what we've seen just in the last year and recently with Ship of Heroes, yeah, I think it's going to be interesting because they're all kind of targeting on the same arc now. So I don't know. Is it going to dilute the base? Is this just a situation where a rising tide lifts all boats? I don't know. I know you can only be in one game at a time, like physically, unless you have invented in Time Portal. It's a Nemesis plot so that you can play multiple games or something. I don't know.
Multiple machines, multiple monitors. I mean, you could do it. Looks like they're getting ready to judge.
Awesome.
Yeah, I'm deeply in a wait and see kind of attitude. I don't know. I don't feel like any of these games have a lot of personality yet, but still they're just trying to get the core of them designed, and personality can always be added later. But
It should be added, yeah.
yeah, so I don't know. I mean, none of them have really caught my attention, except I think it was like a week ago, maybe we were doing a post on Valiance, and I was doing all the special effects, that video with the different effects that they had,
yeah.
their artists. I was really impressed.
See?
Like how well those looked. So yeah, maybe.
Yeah, those two, that one and City of Titans. I mean, they've been doing this for years at this point, and Titans had kind of a head start because they had a really big Kickstarter. They got a lot. It was like $70,000, something like that. Which is, that's a lot of money, potential money that NCSoft threw away, which is really frustrating. But yeah, that really shows you where the love was back in 2013 or 14? I don't remember. Someone will tell us in chat. I can't remember off the top of my head.
You don't remember the day?
No, I remember.
We're doing good if we can separate game names at this point.
Wait, what Tony's saying? Almost 700,000?
Was it 700,000? No. Is that? Oh my gosh.
No, it
Thank
can't
you,
be.
Tony.
City of
No,
Titans?
he would know.
Seriously?
Yeah, I knew it was some crazy big number, but I couldn't remember what order of magnitude. I was off by. Yeah, wow. So okay, closing up in on 1 million. Wow, that's freaking amazing. People really liked City of Heroes. I know there's gonna be trolls in our comments who tell us all to, let it go. But no, come on. There is a lot of demand for this, and none of the games that has come out since has managed to fill that hole. They just haven't. So,
Man,
yeah.
it keeps making me think if Paragon had that option to, go to the community and say, well, if we raise some money, we could buy the game and keep running it ourselves.
People would have thrown money at this.
Yes.
I like Tony's comment. I'd paste a link, but,
Sorry, Tony.
Nightbot!
Yeah, that's totally my screw up. I think I was even in the comments a couple weeks ago quoting 700,000, and I just derp.
It's the camera. You get a little nervous. You start talking about all sorts of things, and then...
She's a little microphone shy, that one.
Yeah, you know me.
Rasp was saying with that capital, he thought he'd see more progress by now. And Cadavery is saying COH is the Firefly of MMOs. See, I would love a Firefly MMO so much. I really would. It's not going to happen. Hey, I need to
Star
make Firefly
Citizen.
in here.
Yeah, I think that's fair. I really feel like City of Heroes. I mean, I hate to pretend that it didn't have a big player base, because for its day, it actually really did. And when it went free to play, it actually exceeded expectations. They were doing really well. It just wasn't WoW. And in the context of WoW, everybody just kind of, if it wasn't WoW, I'd just go home. But that's just not how it works. You have to almost exclude an outlier like WoW and compare it to the other games. And compared to the other games, City of Heroes was doing really well. Especially shouldering that second, mystery game on the side.
Which we never did find out what it was, right?
Yeah, didn't they say it was because Lost was really big, and I thought it was going to be almost a Survivor kind of mystery. I don't remember. I mean, this was all rumors. Well, I shouldn't say rumors. This was all anonymous sourcing, I should say. So it depends on how much you trust those anonymous sources. But yeah. But I don't want to give the impression that it was a scrappy underdog, because it was actually really respectable, and that's why it was such a shock. I remember we were all sitting in Campfire working that day massively. And we got this first tip, right? Do you guys remember this? We got the tip that they were going to close down. Somebody has just said that they're closing down the City of Heroes. And I remember going into Campfire and going, haha, stupid tip. You know what? Tipsters don't know anything. Gosh, why would they troll us like this? And then like 10 minutes later, we got the real press release and we were like completely floored. Like nobody believed it. That's not usually how this, you know what I mean? That's not how this works. Usually you kind of have an inkling, and this was like completely, and there's a reason for that. It's because they had only known for a couple days.
I don't remember that day. Maybe I wasn't there for that, but I certainly remember the protests and how much we covered it. In fact, we were talking about it on the podcast, and then they used our podcast for one of their protest videos.
That's
A
awesome.
quote or two. Yeah, so I remember that, and it was like so moving. I'm like, oh, there's my voice. I wish I said something a little bit more inspiring, but okay. Yeah, anything I could do to help the cause.
Yep, it was definitely strange because we had just gone through the whole Star Wars Galaxy shutdown thing. And there were, mild protests in Mos Eisley, right? And there were petitions, and it was nothing. None of that was even remotely on the scale of what we saw with City of Heroes. City of Heroes literally hasn't been surpassed to this day in terms of the outcry and the effort to stop it. I've never seen anything like that before, and I just don't think that's an accident. I don't think that's a fluke.
Yeah, I remember when they were protesting how many copies of Atlas Park there were on some of those servers. It was like
Yep.
Atlas Park 30, Atlas Park 31.
It wasn't it 90? What was, I thought it was 99. Didn't they keep like the 99th one open forever and ever? I think I had a character named that in its honor. I can't remember. It's been years.
I don't know. I just know it was quite a few.
It was ridiculous. And it makes sense because according to that anonymous source, they had 100,000 subscribers. Subscribers, not players. Subscribers at the end. So yeah, people were going to be pissed. You could go ahead and stick one in the...
The jar
Your
again.
jar,
The jar. No, I mean, well, think about it. All those people paying money, losing what they're playing. It's like that's kind of shocking because I don't know. That just it still kind of shocks me and throws me off because that many people are still paying to play it. It's not like everyone just moved to free to play.
Right. Oh, they had free-to-play players too, and they had, a cash shop, and they were making tons of money. I know it off of the constant stream of new content they were putting out.
But still, it's like they talk about declining subs and all that. I don't know. I think most games would be happy to be trucking along with that to go. Ooh, second place is being announced.
No, you're absolutely right. When developers like Mark Jacobs are saying, I think the number he's tossed around that he's kind of anticipating is like, what didn't he say, like 30 or 40,000 for his subs?
Yeah.
So, I mean, that's like what he's hoping for. That's like his goal. And City of Heroes was doing that without even, doubling that, tripling that without even really trying. And to me, that just shows like how out of it NCSoft was.
Flaming Tree just got second place.
Congrats.
I missed third place in the chat. My chat window is so small, and on the laptop monitor it's small, so sorry if I missed whoever third place was.
They'll separate everybody at the end and just have the winners up there. You can get more pictures. The Flaming Tree won something, yes.
Yeah, some of the videos people created around the time of City Heroes shut down were just so incredibly well done and so moving. I mean, people really took some time to just show how special this game was to them. I remember posting a few of those on Massively. And I think even we had like a couple weeks of one-shots where all we had were people showing off their costumes and their various City Heroes characters, which was a lot of fun.
Let's see, Tony said, I remember being blown away by the Unity Rally Day. It was like, holy shirt balls. I thought there might be 10 people or so. Yeah, there was a few more than 10 there.
Yeah, it's just hard to even explain what just a crazy huge moment in gaming that was. I think that's part of the reason it annoys me when people tell us to stop talking about it, because I don't want to stop talking about it. That's historic. I'm not going to stop.
Oh, looks like third place went to Aguila de Mexico, which actually, considering how well he matches the flag over here. Da-da-da, we'll come. Whoa, sorry, didn't mean to. I seem to have an auto run on or something. I didn't. I'm just
Way to
running right
go,
into people's
MJ,
faces.
ruining the contest.
I know.
So
I know. Sorry.
here's a fun little factoid. If you go to YouTube and you type in City Heroes protest, the very second video is Bo and Bree witness the City Heroes protest on Virtue.
Oh yeah, I remember I showed up for that with Bo. It's mostly his stream. Like he's our MJ back then, and I remember being on that, and he didn't really know much about City of Heroes, and I must have talked for like an hour, blah 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 blah. And I know several times I advocated things I should probably not have advocated. Regarding emulators, I couldn't really help myself. But yeah, that was just wild because we knew it was going to be big, but nobody knew how big it was going to be until we got there, and it was just like, oh my goodness, we can't even all get in the same instance. You can't even stream this properly because I couldn't even like unlag fast enough to see it. That's awesome. I'm so glad that still exists.
Well, I'm trying to find that video that we're in, but I totally forget what it was called.
That kind of solidarity, though, man, that's just heartening. That's, even those are the cool things I think that really come out of communities and stuff as well. Oh, the winner is Anshi.
Oh, here it is. Yep, it's actually the first video when you type in "Save City of Heroes."
That's hilarious.
I started playing.
Do we
it, I'm
sound like idiots?
I do. I'm like, yeah, I'm in the first half minute here.
Okay, so they got the board cube up here again. How are they doing this?
You guys were not properly thrilled for our announced winner. I don't know about this.
Oh, I was. I'm just an idiot, and I hit print screen instead of scroll to talk. I'm pretty sure Anshi was the one who won the villain costume contest and is like super duper creepy.
I mean, I'm sitting here focused on her. It's yeah, pretty creepy there with the long, deadly fingernails and glowy purple eyes, and
I think we're all about to die.
Okay, I'm gonna actually go hang out with Eliot for a bit. So you guys have a good evening.
Yeah, we're pretty much done. I mean, I don't think they've got like more stuff planned, so it's kind of just hanging out from here.
Yep. So that was the big thing. They've had those costume contests all evening, and pretty awesome. But I think those up there are really great. I think they're great. But I love just looking out at the audience and all the variety. I get tired in games of seeing so many people looking identical or everybody has to use a certain outfit because that's what looks, that's got the best stats or whatever. I really hate seeing so much like just a big homogenous pool. And I swear, if you ever just want a dose of creativity, City of Heroes was the place to go.
Yep.
And it still is. Just turn around and look now. I've seen two that look just about the same. One named Daniel and one named Danielle, and they kind of have the same outfit and everything, which I wonder, that's the two of these two. I think they planned that. But other than that, it's like there's nothing that looks similar here. We've got sparkly dudes in, tech armor. We've got little fairies. We've got spider-winged something. And then the Reading Rainbow, which I really would love to know. There he is again. what that is that is a dev running around doing something. I have no idea. But if you guys want to come in, feel some of the City of Heroes love, check out the costume creator, make your own little comics and web movies, I'm sure we would love to see them. I would love to see them. So do it. Come in here, check it out. The instructions are right there in our post right on massivelyop.com, which, by the way, guys, is the place you want to go to read all about MMOs and cool stuff and see Mo. I mean, who doesn't want to see Mo? I want to go on a date with Mo. Is that really bad? I think Mo and I could have a really fun time. I
I
do.
I think that's probably off limits. I think
Ah.
you're gonna need a completely different swear jar for that one.
Oh, come on. It's just a day. We could go and raid something. I mean, isn't that what you do on dates? You go raiding, right?
Your family's weird.
Oh, come on. Yeah. All right. I'm just going to say anybody who's not spent a date or date night in playing a game who's watching right now or in this room, yeah. You don't tell me you have not spent a date night in a game, Bree.
I cannot tell a lie. I would probably rather play this than go out of the house, period.
I mean, seriously. It's about spending time together and having fun, right? And
Hey, Tony just thanked us in game, by the way. I don't know if you caught that. You
oh,
guys are completely epic, Tony and everybody. I love you guys. Thank you for keeping this going.
yes, keeping this going, and I've got to add in a thank you for keeping us going, everybody, because it's your support, you're watching, you're sharing, you're reading, participating, uh, Patreoning, the Kickstarting, all of that stuff has kept us going so we can come in and celebrate you guys doing your stuff here. So thanks to all of you for coming and watching and for being a part of Massively Overpowered. We love you. This is the touching moment. And Bree's like silent.
I am. No, I'm super sad because somebody pointed out earlier that, tomorrow this is going to go back to being 10 or 20 people. I just wish it were like this all the time, that's all.
I want to go explore the zones now. I'm going to need a tour guide. So, you guys out there, let me know. I need a tour guide to go through and screenshot the daylights out of everything because that's what I do. I am the total tourist here. And so, well, we are done pretty much. I think we've seen everybody here. There's a winner. We're going to come and end with a little bit of boombox in here and come up and show you guys that awesome little screen that gives you the site address because I know you don't, in case you ever forget, right there, massivelyop.com. You can follow us on Twitter. You can follow me on Twitter. You can follow Bree on Twitter. You can follow any of us on Twitter, and it's not even against the law. I mean, no restraining orders or anything. It's amazing.
That you know of.
Well, technically. And Bree, thank you. And of course, Justin and Eliot as well. Thanks very much for all of you guys joining in and sharing experiences and thoughts and memories and just basic banter because it's a lot of fun.
Thank you for being an epic camera girl.
Well, I did get a few screenshots out of it, so I'm all good. I'm all good. All right, everybody, we hope you have a fantastic night. We look forward to seeing you again. Keep an eye on that OPTV calendar on the side of MOP. You have to scroll down on the right a little ways while you're scrolling, read all that news on the side, and then you'll see what we're playing. Tomorrow we have one stream definitely set. Let's see how well I can talk Bree into the second one. So keep an eye on that and Twitter, and you'll know what's going on. And we'll see you all tomorrow. So take care, everybody, and have a great night.
Good night, everybody. EM Torch, save COH.
This is me holding my torch.
Wait, somebody just gave me a gift. Wait, that was Codewalker.